see.
I pray to my God every day.
Every day.
On my knees every day.
You
see me when I pray my God, I don't play.
I don't play, on my knees.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, man. Let me tell you, we break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man. It's tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, hitting that like button. Really appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, man. Let's seek the truth.
This is why you should be careful what you put in the mail. In 2015, a man was asked by his neighbor to collect his mail while he was gone for a few weeks. A few days later, a large package arrives on his neighbor's front porch. The man can barely lift it, but gets over to his garage where he accidentally drops it and hears something break inside. Hoping his neighbor would think the damage occurred en route, he closes his squeaky garage door and forgets about it. But over the next couple of days, whatever was in that package started to smell so bad that he decides to open it up. Inside were two very important finds: his neighbor, who was dead, and a camera that was still recording. The police bring the man in for questioning and show him what was on the camera inside the box. It starts with his neighbor talking to the camera about how excited he is to mail himself home for his YouTube channel. Then, police fast forward to the very end where they see that the neighbor is now sleeping in the box, and then suddenly gets dropped and you hear a crack. And that's his neck breaking. And then you hear a squeaky garage door close.
I remember that challenge when it was like going rampant through the internet, man. I saw the big YouTubers, Rice Gum, a couple of others, man, doing that challenge. Goes to show you, man, those challenges and those YouTube views, they worth your life, man. Some of those, you know, went to the extremes back in the day, man, for those YouTube challenges. That's actually insane. Man.
Send this video to someone that is absolutely terrified of clowns. A young boy named Nathan was walking alone to meet up with some friends at a nearby carnival. When he arrived, they rode roller coasters and eventually made their way to a circus tent with live performers. They went inside and saw a group of clowns performing. They were dancing, juggling, and one of them was riding a unicycle. The boys got closer to the stage, and the one riding the unicycle slipped and fell, and his red nose landed right beside Nathan, who picked it up, put it in his pocket, figuring the clown had plenty more. After the show was over, Nathan was walking back home when suddenly he heard a slight chuckle. He turned around and shined his flashlight. He could make out a shadowy figure holding a sharp object in his hand. The figure said in a creepy, sinister voice, "I believe you have something of mine." Nathan slowly backed away, pleading, "No, I don't. Please leave me alone." The figure stepped into the light. It was the clown from the carnival. He said, "Well, if you're not going to give me my nose, I'm gonna need yours."
Gotta mess with clowns, figures? Not me.
Films, Part 53. Hostel. This one's about college students who are traveling through Europe. They party in Amsterdam and have plans to head to Barcelona next. But then they meet a man named Alexei who convinces them to head to Slovakia next. They have their fun the first night, but then one goes missing. And they quickly realize that the hostel they're staying in is more like a torture chamber. This one is pretty gory. And it's particularly scary to me because I've stayed in a lot of hostels. I'm just glad I didn't end up in one like this. It's available to watch for free on Peacock, so let me know what you guys think.
You guys gonna go check that movie out?
Remember, your Amazon Alexa is always listening. In 2018, a girl named Alexa came home to her apartment to find her creepy stalker landlord in her kitchen. She screams and threatens to call the cops, and he just smiles and says, "I was just checking in on you," and leaves. Feeling totally sketched out, she spends the next few hours down the hall in her friend's apartment before finally going back to her room to go to bed. That night, she woke up to her Amazon Alexa responding to someone in the room. It said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Did you say I'm watching you?" The girl instantly turns on her lights and looks around, but no one's there. So she unplugs Alexa and is about to go back to sleep when she hears what sounds like a man grunting in her closet. As she's staring at her closet, her Alexa turns back on.
What the hell? that was just a movie situation, but we saw some of those weird cases, you know, going on with Alexa, man. You asking her some creepy questions to try to get a response back, and it definitely did, man. That's like some sound, man, some technology, or something trying to take over. We cannot let that happen, bro. Got to disable your Alexa and Siri's, man. They're learning too much info. How's that screaming? That an edit or something? How the hell was
This
she
game
locked
is
up?
apparently very dangerous. People theorize that it's what Elisa Lam was doing in my previous video. Basically, you get into the elevator alone and go to level 4. Stay in the elevator and go to the 2nd floor. Stay again and go to the 6th floor. Then the 2nd, then the 10th, then the 5th. When you get to the 5th floor, a woman will enter the elevator, but don't look at her, don't talk to her, she's not what she seems. Press the button to the 1st floor. If the elevator takes you to the 1st floor, you must leave without looking back. The game's over. Or it will take you to the 10th floor where you can leave or you can stay. If you leave, you'll be in the other world. All the lights will be off, you'll be alone, and you'll see a red cross in the distance. When you choose to return, you must travel back in the same elevator you came in, which can be confusing because the other world is very disorienting. You may faint or pass out and wake back up in your home, but be careful to make sure it's really your home. There are some crazy stories of people's experiences with this game on Reddit. Do you guys think it's real?
I never play those type of games, man. When they pop up across the videos we watch to get the secrets, I'm not risking that bad energy and nothing even happening. So I leave it to those who do that. And we just try to recap their experiences, but I'm never gonna play any of those games. No, not for me. Tell me down below, would you guys even attempt to try it? Brave your souls if you do. Edit. You gotta call it out like how you see
I
it.
pray to my God every day.
Every day.
On my knees every day.
You
See me when I pray my God, I don't play.
I don't play, on my knees.
Did you guys see that? I'm not the only one, man. If y'all watched the circuit, there was definitely someone who popped in and it like popped out really quickly. And they had no idea. Gotta be aware of our surroundings. I don't know who the hell that
This isn't
Edit.
a horror film. This is in my house.
was. What? The shots of the movie was on the house. What the hell? Dream Man? What the hell is his story? We want to find some facts about that. Damn, that one even ended. We couldn't even learn nothing. What the Ooh. What the hell? It's like a demon that just came out the damn TV. See some creepy facts. Okay, somebody. It's definitely a little like an edit. Did he realize just try to walk into the house? Afterwards, oh yeah, he was definitely like freaking following that girl, bro. She just closed the door all oblivious, man. That's what I be saying. You never know who's watching you, bro. They really be trying to run up in your own house. I don't get people, bro. No place is sacred.
worst things ever found on the dark web, part 1. This is why you should never send nudes. This is the story of Pink Meth. Despite the name, the website Pink Meth had nothing to do with drugs. Pink Meth was a market mainly for men where they would sell nude photos of their exes for a hefty amount of money. But that's not all. Pink Meth would then post these photos alongside the woman's names, home addresses, phone numbers, and any other information the operators could dig up. Then a ransom on the content was delivered to the victim. They would tell all the females, pay up to have the photo removed or let the whole of the dark web have access to your personal information, including your nude photos. So never, ever send nudes. Pretty cool.
He was spitting, bro. I'm not that type of person. I was just like, no, I just don't even do that because too many things go through my mind. I'm like, nope. Somebody could try to get access to that. They could try to use it in the future to like use against you. Nah, that ain't gonna happen to me. So I'm not even on that type of time. No, you just gave a creepy ass story while you shouldn't, because all your information gonna be out there, bro, on the dark web. But that too, they have your location and everything. Nah, that ain't for me, man. Seekers, if you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're true ones seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that post notification bell as well, so you always get notified when I drop. I do daily uploads, so hopefully you guys appreciate that, man. We're grinding. We're gonna continue to keep growing and get better with each and every single video. Guys, gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing all right, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, man. We break down scary and creepy videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, man, hitting that like button on each and every single video I drop, man. You guys are helping us, push us in the algorithm, man. Like I said, we're growing some momentum slowly but surely, man. We're growing, we're coming along. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, man. We're about to expose the truth today.
Imagine living with someone that you know is trying to end your life. This hidden camera captures a moment this woman puts bleach inside her husband's coffee maker multiple times a day. This is Robbie Johnson, and he began setting up cameras all around his house when he started to notice that his coffee was tasting a little off. He wasn't really expecting to catch anything, but when he looked back at the footage, he was shocked. His wife Melody is seen pouring a substance inside his coffee maker every single day before he brewed the coffee. Robbie got testing strips, and each time it tested positive for chlorine. At this time, Robbie and Melody were in the process of a divorce, but they were still living together. Robbie pretended to drink his coffee every morning and continued to gather evidence so that he can go to police. But when he showed police all this footage, they said that they couldn't see exactly what Melody was pouring into the coffee maker, so he couldn't prove it. So Robbie had to set up even more cameras around the house with different angles so that he can prove that Melody was in fact poisoning him. Melody was charged with attempted murder, and I bet this guy will never let anyone else make him a coffee again.
That would
is not something that's terribly new, but have you heard about the woman that is haunting AI pictures? Sees the face, and nobody can explain why she keeps showing up in AI images. If you look at her, she's not really general. I mean, there are specific characteristics even that aren't consistent. Again, nobody knows which prompts are generating this woman. Nobody knows why her face continues to appear in different models. So this has opened up one of my favorite questions about the idea that AI pictures can be haunted. And don't forget, if things like this are of interest to you, make sure to go check out the podcast. Katy Perry is coming under fire because her upcoming album, it features Dr. Luke. But a lot of people don't know that Katy Perry is allegedly trapped by Dr. Luke. Apparently, there is a lot going on behind the scenes that many people are not aware of. Little history here. Katy Perry was dropped by Columbia Records back in 2006, 2007. She signed with Capitol Records in 2007 at the age of 22. Part of that deal was that she was going to sign a 6-album production deal with Dr. Luke. Dr. Luke ended up doing her first 2 albums. He did One of the Boys, he did Teenage Dream, and they were
massively successful albums, and he began to work on Prism. So Prism came out, and it was extremely successful, and allegedly it's around this time that Luke's services as a producer were bought out by Sony, but he included a clause that he was still going to be able to honor and finish out his 6-album deal with Katy Perry. And it was also around this time that Kesha came forward with the accusations against Dr. Luke. Then came this leak. Allegedly, this is a text exchange between Kesha and Lady Gaga around the time of the accusations, which also alleged that Dr. Luke had assaulted Katy Perry and she was stuck with him. So then we got the release of Witness, which did not feature Dr. Luke at all. And people sort of thought that she would never work with him again, but she had only fulfilled 3 of the 6 contracted albums. Legal predicament here is that Katy Perry signed her deal at 22 and she is now 39, and if she wants to continue having a career in music, she is legally bound to finish out the remaining 3 albums.
Is that why, like I said, I don't remember, didn't we hear like a couple of months ago how like she showed Katy Perry, she showed her old catalog or something for like a ridiculous amount of money. But now I guess she's trying to get back into the music scene, but she's stuck with that, I guess, producer, man. She has to make 3 more with him. See, because, man, it goes to show you gotta watch. When you sign a contract, you gotta read the fine print, because you never know who you're gonna get stuck with. Gotta be fully prepared, man, for those consequences. That's crazy that she's stuck with that producer, Luke. Ooh. The hell is that? Where's the sky? Headache.
I'm the bad guy.
Damn. Warhol. Woo. Won't want to get bit by one of those. That's common
You're not
knowledge.
gonna believe what this guy accidentally caught on camera. Watch carefully.
Going so fast. You can barely see.
Did y'all see that? It's a pale humanoid figure lurking in the background. Roman countered like Slender Man or something. Let me know what you guys think this is in the comments below.
So you stumble
I need out the guy's theories.
believed to be human remains near a neighborhood, and your first thought is to take those human remains to Goodwill. That's what happened in Anderson, South Carolina, yesterday, June the 23rd, 2024. It is reported that an individual stumbled across what is believed to be human remains in a gravel lot located in or near a high-end subdivision called Grayland in Anderson, South Carolina. And instead of calling law enforcement, this individual takes those human remains to Goodwill, who then calls law enforcement.
Why?
Law enforcement does believe these remains to be human. They are searching a wooded area that is said to be in a new development in this subdivision, Grayland, in Anderson, South Carolina. They have also called in an anthropologist from Spartanburg County who is assisting in the case, and the remains have been sent to the FBI for DNA identification. As more information becomes available, I'll share it here, so go ahead and hit the follow button. If you are not already following, there are 6 different people listed in NamUs who are missing from the Anderson, South Carolina area. I'm not going to list those individuals here because I don't want it to look like I'm speculating that these remains could be one of those individuals. You can do your own research on that.
Nasty.
That's insane. You can find some human remains and their first thought is to take it to Goodwill, man. That goes to show you how people, they don't be using their minds sometimes. See something like that, man, you just call the police, bro. You don't take it in a Goodwill. What the hell are they supposed to do with it? They're just gonna be just as confused and disgusted by as you. People down there, you serious?
Fast food facts you didn't want to know. There's most likely other people's poop in your fast food drinks.
What?
Scientists tested samples from Burger King, McDonald's, and KFC and discovered that most of the drinks had traces of fecal coli in them. That's poop particles. Although regulation says that your drink should have 0% of poop, sample from different KFCs and Burger Kings had significant amounts. That poses a serious threat to diners. Fountain machines were tested too, and they had about 11% of E. coli. Some restaurants rarely clean their ice machines, and some restaurant workers that handle your ice don't wash their hands. Hope you have fun drinking poop. Like this video if you want a part 2.
I ain't drinking no more from all those restaurants listed. Fast food. Make your drink at home.
In 2014, a man named Martin took this picture of his daughter in Japan. It wasn't until later that he discovered an eerie thing about this photo. When the photo was taken, there was no man standing behind his daughter, yet it appears that there is. Again, if you look closely, you can see a man standing directly behind his daughter.
Ooh.
People believe that this is a ghost of a samurai or a World War II soldier. He just happened to catch it on camera while trying to take this cute and innocent photo of his daughter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you believe that this is real?
First games you should
Do you?
never play. Part 14, the Dry Bones game. This game could get you anything you can dream of, but you're putting yourself at risk for losing your mind, being killed, or worse. To prepare, close all the doors and windows in your house, and then turn off all the lights. Begin at exactly 12:01. Go into your bathroom and look into the mirror. Make sure everything is silent. If you hear anything, he is already there. Think of something you want. This will be your prize if you win. Strike a match and wait for it to burn out on its own. If it lasts more than 15 seconds, you may continue. Lie down on the floor and recite these words. I am aware of your presence and I welcome you into my home. Go into the biggest room in your house and wait. To know that the game is officially started, you will hear a moan. If you hear anything else, abort. Once you hear this, run to your hiding spot and stay there, but remain completely silent. Remain in this place until 3 a.m. Once this time comes, go back to the biggest room in your house and say thank you for playing, but you must leave now. You are no longer welcome. If you did this right, you will hear another groan signifying that you won, and your prize will be at the door.
Nah. They that young? This goes to show you even back then, man, how the world was a dark place.
Creepy people who were caught on camera PT.1. Creepiest home.
You saw how the way they was at? Like, nah, that's why they were aware they surround us, because that guy was asking some weird questions. Just trying to lurk around in the background. Can't even go out and have a good time no more without, you always have to be constantly aware, because weirdos out like that exist.
Camera footage PT.3.
Ooh. Isn't in the room no more? Damn. Scary. How the hell did he get in the house? That's the real question we need to be asking.
The new horror movie Smile 2 just came out. And if you remember in 2022, the movie Smile went so viral that literally everyone was talking about it. So I really hope that the sequel will be good because we've been waiting. But I haven't seen the trailer yet, so let's watch it together.
Alright.
Hello?
You back.
What?
No, 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 go away from me!
What? What is it?
Go away from me!
Louis?
Oh crap. Damn.
Something really crazy is happening to me. I keep seeing this face everywhere.
You witnessed a death. Now it's latched onto you.
Stop smiling at me!
Oh, I bet he back. Oh, man.
That's a pretty cool shirt you got. Want me to sign it?
This is one of the most disgusting and evil cases I've ever heard. In February of 2013 in the Bronx, New York, a man was walking his dog at around 4 a.m. when his dog began to sniff around and led the man to a pile of trash bags that were left on the curb. As the man got closer, he realized that there was an awful smell coming from the bags that were sitting on the curb. So he decided to investigate, and lo and behold, he discovered that the bags were full of dismembered body parts. The man then decided to call the police, and after further investigation, the police found multiple different bags full of more dismembered body parts scattered across the city. It would then be discovered that the dismembered body parts would belong to a 45-year-old at-home caregiver by the name of Tanya Bird. Her body parts were placed in multiple heavy-duty trash bags containing everything from her torso to her shoulders to even her head. But guys, if only that was the worst part. You see, police then moved on to contact Tanya's son, Basim McLean, in which he responded that he believed that his mom's abusive ex-boyfriend was the one behind the killing of his mother. But little did the police know that that was not the case. As part of the investigation, police decided to go through Basim McLean's phone to see if he had any connection with his mom's murder. And lo and behold, they discovered a picture of McLean smiling in a selfie while holding his mom's decapitated head in his left hand. Yes, this is the picture of McLean holding his mom's decapitated head like it's a trophy. And of course it's blurred because we're not going to show the actual picture on here. After this, though, he was actually sentenced to 25 years in prison. But wait, it gets crazier. You see, years prior, before he was arrested, Basim McLean was actually married to a woman named Vera McLean, in which him and her had a 4-year-old son together. And about a year into McLean's prison sentence, he gets a call while in jail that his ex-wife, Vera McLean, is being charged with murder after beating their 4-year-old son to death with a broomstick. She was then sentenced to 17 years in prison. So one of them killed their mother, dismembered her body, and then flaunted her head in a selfie, and the other one beat their son to death with a broomstick. That's a pretty twisted couple, if you ask me.
Like, madness just went through that whole freaking family line. So the son.
Have you guys heard about the disturbing murder of the 3 Girl Scouts? This is the unsolved murder case of 9-year-old Michelle Gus, 10-year-old Doris Milner, and 8-year-old Lori Farmer. On June 12, 1977, 140 Girl Scouts ages 8 to 18 went to Camp Scott in Oklahoma for 2 weeks. Camp Scott was super popular in the town, but in 1977, nobody was prepared for what was going to happen. The very first night that the girls went to sleep in their tents, Lori, Michelle, and Doris slept together in Tent 8. The next morning at 6 a.m., a counselor found the lifeless bodies of the 3 young girls a short distance from their tent. All 3 girls had been sexually assaulted and badly beaten. Lori and Michelle had been bludgeoned while Doris was strangled to death. Now get this, 2 months before the trip, a training session was held at Camp Scott and something very alarming happened. A counselor's cabin was ransacked and a disturbing note was found in an empty box of donuts. The note said, "We are on a mission to kill 3 girls in Tent 1. Even though this note was strange and upsetting, the camp administrators dismissed the entire thing as a prank. The night the 3 girls were murdered, a camp counselor remembered hearing strange moaning, so she got up and looked around but didn't find anything unusual. The main suspect was an escaped convict that police were desperately looking for, and his name is Gene Leroy Hart. He had been convicted of kidnapping and sexually assaulting 2 pregnant women in the past. Gene was captured 10 months later, but regardless of all the evidence found against him, he was not found guilty by the jury. When Gene was sent back to prison for his original crime, he collapsed and died from a heart attack just 2 months later. A chilling statement was made by Doris's 5-year-old little sister just minutes before she left to the camp. Doris's little sister asked their mom, "Mommy, what happens when people die?" And their mom had tried to explain what happens after death, and that's when the little sister responded with, "Yeah, but everyone's gonna die tomorrow." I don't know about you guys, but that is super creepy. These murders remain some of the state's most disturbing unsolved cases.
And those camping trips, I remember there was like a little, I think I remember when I was a kid how our school used to go on those camping trip as well, but I wasn't a fan of them. I was always opted out. I said, nah, they ain't for me. I just don't trust them. Even as a kid, I wasn't trusting nobody. It's a tragic case, man.
Jeffrey Epstein lived in this house in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and it's been stated that this is the largest private residence in New York. While Epstein was alive, he was visited at this house by a number of famous politicians and celebrities, including infamously Prince Andrew, who claimed nothing happened while he was there. I think the artwork on the house is a little eerie, to say the least, and I'm sure it's symbolic in its own way. Now, multiple bodyguards and people have gone on the record and said that inside of Epstein's house, there was a brain room, or a room filled floor to ceiling with security monitors. This would mean that every single inch of Jeffrey Epstein's house was being videotaped or photographed at every moment. And still, to this day, there are tons of cameras on the exterior. I myself was a little freaked out after standing in front of this house, knowing that I was just captured on like 5 different angles. But this would mean that all of the trafficking, the assaults against minors that happened in this house, all of that was caught on camera. And that's true, it was, because Epstein was running a blackmail operation. It's too much to get into now, but if you want to hear me expose the true story, you can listen to the first episode of my show, The Conspiracy Files, on all platforms.
It's literally right there. He's had all that footage recording for what, man? Just found out, just exposed him at the end. Somebody have their house covered inch by inch. You understand a few, but inch by inch in every single room, they trying to see something. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true one. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that push notification bell. We're growing slowly but surely, man. We're going to take off in this algorithm, but I appreciate all my supporters that I have right now. You guys can catch it in the next one, man. We out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, man, and hitting that like button on each and every video. I really appreciate it. You guys don't know how much you guys are helping us out just by doing those 3 simple steps. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, man. Let's seek the truth.
Talking about the World Cup, let's talk about how this soccer player was murdered after he lost the game. On June 22nd, 1994, Andres Escobar, who was the captain of Colombia's soccer team, was playing against the US and scored in his own net during the World Cup. Colombia ended up losing the game 2-1 and was eliminated. 10 days later, Andres was confronted by a group of men outside a club in the city of Medellin. These men began harassing Andres and making fun of him for shooting in his own net, and even though he tried to reason with them, they shot him 6 times. The next day, police arrested Humberto Castro Munoz, who was associated with powerful criminals and drug traffickers. It's been said that the criminals that Humberto was working with were betting a lot of money on Colombia to win, and when they lost because of Andres' mistake, then they ordered Humberto to murder him. Humberto was sentenced to 43 years in prison, but only served 11 years before being released for good behavior. More than 120,000 people attended Andres' funeral, and Colombia created a statue of him in 2002.
Over some money, bro? Over a soccer game as well?
This boy was forced to live as a girl. In 1965, twin boys were born, and they went by the name of Bruce and Brian, and they were born in Winnipeg, Canada. By 8 months old, the boys ended up getting a condition, and the only way to fix it was to get a circumcision done, and in the end, Bruce was the only one who got it done. Unfortunately, Bruce got a botched circumcision, which burned off his whole private part. The family was referred to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore to speak with a Dr. John Money, and he recommended a surgical sex change from male to female. Bruce's parents agreed to the procedure, thinking that this was the best option. The procedure was successful, and instead of Bruce, now their name was Brenda. By the age of 2, Brenda would rip off her dresses, refuse to play with dolls, and just wanted to play with toy cars and guns. Brenda complained to her parents and teachers that she felt like a boy, and they just told her that she was going through a phase. At the age of 14, a local psychiatrist told Brenda's parents that they just needed to tell Brenda the truth, and once they did, Brenda just felt like everything finally made sense. Brenda embarked on the painful process to go back to a male, and once all that was done, Brenda was now David. Although David was able to be a boy again, he was traumatized from his past when he would go to annual doctor visits with his twin brother, and Dr. John Money would make them do sexual acts on each other, and he would take photos of them. Although they both resisted doing these activities, Dr. John Money would get very angry with them, and they were honestly very scared of him. Dr. John Money claimed that this was important for healthy adult gender identity. Unfortunately, due to the traumatizing childhood, David's brother ended up taking his life in 2002, and just 2 years later, David ended up taking his own life as well.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 17. There's an 8-year-old boy named Amarjit Sada who became the world's youngest serial killer after murdering his 6-year-old cousin, his baby sister, and a neighbor's newborn daughter. The CIA has a legitimate heart attack gun, and it was exposed to the public in the late 1970s. Project Sunshine was research conducted by the US government in which, after the atomic bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a network of agents was recruited to locate recently deceased children and steal their body parts for testing on radiation. Both the US and Russia used dolphins and whales to spy on various countries. The FBI sent an anonymous letter to Martin Luther King Jr. telling him to kill himself. It reads, "King, there is only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is." Guys, I just released my first YouTube video. I'm sure you'll love it. Link in bio.
That's crazy. I never knew that last part, especially concerning Dr. Martin Luther King, man. Goes to show you how sometimes how corrupt our nation is. And use whales and dolphins to spy on other countries, USA and Russia. What the hell? They train the animals to be capable of that. Got eyes and ears everywhere.
Worst plane crash ever recorded.
That's an edit. We knew how to call those out, Seekers. He literally caught it at the end. Sad as well.
Never listen to this song if you're in the Philippines. It's called My Way by Frank Sinatra. If you listen to this song in the Philippines, you might literally die. It's so cursed that it has its own crime class there. It has been even banned in karaoke bars. It used to incite people at bars and led to a large amount of killings. But won't you listen to it?
No, not hearing knowing that information.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know. Part 12. I guess you could start saying that zombies are real, and the reason I say that is because there is a sickness called walking corpse syndrome, in which the brain starts to believe that it's dead and that it has no soul, and it starts to make you act like a zombie. Yikes. So while we're talking about zombies, I thought I would go ahead and mention this fact to you. Back in the day, there was a serial killer named Jeffrey Dahmer, and what he would do with his victims is he would try to make sex zombies out of them by drilling holes in their head and pouring acid down the hole. There were over 15 dead bodies found in Benjamin Franklin's basement. Is there something the history books aren't telling us? I didn't even want to say this one because it kind of freaked me out too, but if you get bruises a lot, it could be signs of a spirit trying to contact you, as well as a lot of other ways. A man was once being held at gunpoint on a video on the dark web and was forced to eat his wife's organs or he would have died.
Here is how you can survive a piranha attack. Let's say that you find yourself in the Amazon River surrounded by piranhas. What you should do is first of all stay as still as possible and don't make any kind of noise. Don't even scream for help, because they locate their prey with their excellent hearing. Now start moving really slow towards deeper water, where it's colder and the currents are stronger, so there won't be any piranhas there. But you may find a crocodile. But hey, now you know how to survive a piranha attack.
Would you guys take that advice, man? For the piranha attack?
Why you should never do this. This is 17-year-old Michael Dumas. He was on a church trip to Florida with some of his friends. While on this trip, they went to Pompano Beach, and he would be buried in the sand as you see here. He'd soon be unburied and all would be well until later that night when he would wake up in the middle of the night and be itching like crazy and sweating. At first, this would be labeled as an ear infection and he would be sent home with drops, but it would soon be obvious that that's not what it was, as he started to develop these raised bumpy rashes. And he became pretty lethargic, just wanting to sleep all the time. It got even worse to the point where he was having these big nasty blisters. And that's when he'd finally be diagnosed with cutaneous larva migrans, which is pretty much dog or cat hookworm. So pretty much these work by the dog or the cat pooping in the sand and contaminating it, and then not long after, these microscopic larvae hatch, and then you step in this contaminated sand and you end up looking like Michael. After all of this, he ended up developing a staph infection as well. And if it's not bad enough just him getting infected, 5 others from this trip got infected with hookworm as well.
Okay, because that...
Shoot, I'm never probably about to go walk on the beach again, man. Not with my freaking bare foot. Goes to show you, you never knew. I didn't even know something like that was possible, man. People bring their pets on the beach and letting them pee and poop and not cleaning it up. I like what it caused. Wearing socks from now on the beach.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw the video. Like, I've met goats before, okay? Their eyes are hella creepy and they look like this. Now tell me what the hell that is. And that's why many people believe that this is actually a skinwalker trying to enter the girl's home. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then watch my latest video. It's staring into my soul.
It is. I'm about to say Skinwalker. I was just about to say that. We've seen that a couple of times watching these clips together, man. So that was my logical guess. Let's just go. Edit. Twin paradox theory.
Let me get a pair of twins. All right? They're born the same time. They're the same age. And now one of them I will send off at 90 the speed of light, and the other I'll keep down here on Earth. So we can ask, how does their aging rates compare? Okay? Turns out, this twin that I've already sent, his clock ticks 44% as fast as this twin's clock, our clock, here on Earth. So, this twin is aging more slowly than this one. That's at 90% the speed of light. Let's pump it up some more. How about 99% the speed of light? Now the time ticks at only 14% the rate, as it does back here on Earth. How about 99.9%?
Keep pushing
We're getting
it.
closer and closer to the speed of light itself. And at that speed, the clock ticks only 4.5% as fast.
Slower.
So, what does this mean? Tell you what it means. This twin that traveled for 5 years and comes back, if they went at 99.9% the speed of light, after 5 years, they're 5 years older. We have aged 110 years.
Damn.
It's called the twin paradox.
These are videos you can never watch at night. We all know how there's some videos where you just can't watch them at night because they're that scary. Well, in this series, I'll be showing you all of those videos. So, be ready to get terrified.
Bring it on.
Who are you? What? What's wrong with you?
The hell?
What?
Well, I know I'm not sleeping after watching that video. This video has been going viral recently and nobody knows the origins of it. It shows what appears to be a ghostly woman standing outside of some man's window at night. And she says something took her daughter and did this to her. But nobody knows what that is. The man who uploaded the video hasn't updated anybody on if he's seen her again, or if he's okay, leaving people to worry about him. But I can't imagine looking out my window at night and seeing this.
Let's talk about this picture. This is why if I ever have kids, I'll never let them use the bathroom alone. A 7-year-old girl and her mom were headed to Target, and she was getting some clothes for school. Her mom also wanted to grab some snacks for movie night. So while her mom went to go grab popcorn and other snacks, she told her daughter to go pick out clothes for school. When her daughter finally finished and picked out the clothes, she went up to her mom and said something strange happened. A sad pale lady had came up to her, telling her that she wished she could have her own daughter that looked just like her. The mom, who thought the daughter was just joking around, laughed it off and said, "Let's go." While heading to the register, the daughter shook her mom and said, "That's the lady who told me she wanted a daughter just like me," pointing at a mannequin. The mom laughed, thinking the daughter was still being silly. You know how kids have wild imaginations, always playing around. While at the register, the daughter had to go to the bathroom. So the mom told her to hurry up. It was only a couple hours down, by the way. While in the bathroom, the daughter texted the mom saying the pale lady's in here who wanted a daughter. The mom, trying to get in a rush back home to her other kids, said, "Hurry up, we have to go. Stop playing around." 10 minutes later, and the daughter never came out. The mother, who was waiting outside the bathroom at this time, rushes in the bathroom to see what the heck is going on. The daughter was nowhere to be found. She even checked the stalls to see if her daughter was hiding, standing on a toilet or something. On one of the stalls, she found her daughter's cell phone on the floor. By the way, if you made it this far in the video, comment down below your favorite fruit. Mine is mangoes. When she checked her phone, this was the last image found in it. Police still to this day have no explanation on what happened to that little girl.
Like what your kids say, man. You might think they have a wide
These two
imagination.
sisters had a competition to see who could get their dad to sleep with them first. Yeah, you did hear that right. This brings us to Travis Fieldgrove and his 17-year-old daughter, Samantha Kirshner. So in 2018, Samantha would express interest to her mom that she wanted to meet her dad, as she'd always longed for him to be in her life, and they'd start to grow closer, and she'd also form a close relationship with her half-sister in the process. So at this time, her half-sister and Samantha are fighting for her dad's attention, and they come up with this competition to see who can get the dad to sleep with him first. And it really wouldn't take that long, because in September of 2018, Samantha and her dad would sleep together for the first time, and then a month later, they'd get married. The mom had no idea what was going on, but she soon gets a clue and contacts the police, where Sam is brought in and confesses that her and her dad have been getting it on, and she says that both her and her dad didn't believe that they were actually related. Police are quick to say, "Why would you do this, since there's a possibility that you all are related?" And she says the jealousy of fighting for attention just got to her, and she just wanted to win this competition.
A DNA test would take place, and he was the father, and they'd both be arrested in 2019. Travis would get 2 years in prison, and Sam would get 9 months probation and 22 days in jail. Travis is now out of jail in order to have no contact with Samantha, and he says that his life after jail is going great.
I'm going great. Do you know what you just did? You damn sicko. What the heck? This world, man. Edit. Call it like we see it, man.
What are you doing? Keep driving. No, it's not. Stop. Come on, man. I got a family. What are you doing? I got a family too. Now drive. What are you doing? Please stop. I have 4 kids. What are you doing?
What you just saw were some of the final moments of Uber driver Christy Spicuzza's life. This is an extremely sad and horrific story. Christy Spicuzza was a mother from Pennsylvania who worked for Uber. She had a loving family, and on the night of February 10th, 2022, she was expecting to just work her normal shift on Uber. But on that tragic night, Christy picked up this man, Calvin Crew. Now, Christy had a dash cam video camera which was facing her and her passengers. And for the first 20 minutes or so of this ride, Calvin just sat in the back seat not saying anything, and Christy even tried to ask him questions like, "Did you have a good day? How's it going?" But at one point, Calvin pulls out a pistol, places it against Christy's skull, and informs her that she needs to drive. Now, Christy would continue to drive, and she begged the man in the back seat for her life, talking about her amazing children and her family and how it doesn't have to go like this, but it seems like Calvin's mind was already decided. And just 2 days later, Christy's car and her dead body were found in a neighboring area. Calvin had forced Christy to drive out to an isolated wooded area and murdered her out in the woods. After the murder, Calvin had used Christy's cell phone to access some of her financial apps like Cash App and sent himself some money, but it wasn't even a very large sum of money that this man stole. Calvin's girlfriend, Tanaya Mullen, was actually the one who called the Uber for her boyfriend that night. And she had even texted him that evening and said, "I'm not going to jail if we get caught." Which is true because she never ended up going to jail or prison for her involvement in this horrifically sad crime.
What?
This is just such a tragic story that obviously did not need to happen, and that footage is some of the most horrifying that I've ever seen.
A 14-year-old boy.
Man, see, people who driving Lyft or Uber, bro, they really taking a risk out here nowadays, because you know how the world is crazy. So if you're driving Lyft or Uber, man, you just always have to be prepared. I'm skeptical about getting in those rides myself.
Boy named Sebastian Guerrero decided to go for a walk up in the mountains, and he wanted to go explore the different caves. There was light coming out of one of the cave entrances, and he's starting to hear sounds. He realizes it's definitely a person, and they're definitely screaming. There also sounds to be a large contingent of other people, and he peeks his head right around the edge of the opening, and he looks inside, and what he sees causes him to just freeze in terror. He would run nearly 10 miles to the nearest police station. The way he described it to police was he basically thought he saw vampires. One of the police officers, his name was Luis Martinez, he would say, "Okay, kid, bring me to this cave and I'll have a look around." Later on in the day, the other police officers, they realized that Luis and the boy had not returned yet. The police and the Mexican army, they head out to where this cave was, and when they saw what was inside the cave, it would shock the world.
What was it? Damn it. They always do that, man.
This is the scariest story about the lunch lady. There was a lunch lady named Judy, and everybody in school loved her. But they loved her food even more. Every single day, they would rush to the lunchroom just to eat her delicious food. But one day, a boy in 7th grade noticed something strange. In the back of the kitchen, he saw a mysterious door he'd never seen before. And he's been buying lunch for a year straight. He then went to the principal's office and told him what he saw. The principal then made his way down to the lunchroom and asked Judy about the door. She played dumb for a little bit, but eventually showed him. And what he saw inside made him freeze in horror. Inside were multiple children's dead bodies, completely cut up and strung up on the wall. Judy then looked at the principal with a smile on her face and said, "How do you think my food tastes so good? This is the reason why." Judy was arrested and fired, and is now serving 105 years in prison. But the crazy part is, how did this school allow a lunch lady to kill students and then sell their meat as lunch food?
They had no idea what was going on. We're gonna have to do a deep dive into that story. That's a chilling story, man.
People who live streamed their passings, part 1. Here we have 19-year-old Ocean, who was from France, and she worked at a retirement home. On May 10th, 2016, she would go live on what would be her last Periscope of her life. She'd start this live in her apartment, talking about how depressed she was and how she couldn't really find the energy to get out of bed. She'd also go on to talk about her ex and how bad of a person he was and how that he had abused her. Even with all this, she'd be picked on and made fun of in the comments throughout the whole live. During this live, she would warn her younger viewers and tell them to sign off, as she has something very big planned as her way to send a message. But like I said, nobody was really taking her too seriously. Eventually, she'd end up leaving her apartment and heading over to Egley train station, where she would sadly throw herself right into a train, and this train would hit her, and unfortunately, she would not survive. This would all be captured on live, and the next thing you'd see would be one of the first responders attempting to end the live stream, and he would actually do that at around 4:30.
Interview with People magazine, Gypsy Rose and her husband Ryan Anderson are sharing their love story. The couple got married in a prison ceremony in July 2022, but up until this point we hadn't really known the details of how they met. But shortly before she was released, both Gypsy and Ryan spoke with People magazine and shared some more details of their love story. Ryan Anderson is a 37-year-old special education teacher originally from Gypsy's home state of Louisiana. He told People that they first met back in 2020 when he decided to take a chance and write to her. He said, "It was when Tiger King was really popular. My coworker at the time said, I want to write to Tiger King. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you write to him, I'll write to Gypsy Rose Blanchard." In that first letter, Ryan told Gypsy, quote, what her story meant to me, and on the second page, I just let her have it. I told her everything about me. He didn't expect to hear back, but by May 2020, the two were corresponding regularly. Ryan said that he would get butterflies when he got an email from Gypsy, and when the two spoke on the phone for the first time and he heard her voice, that all but sealed the deal for him. Gypsy was also falling in love as Ryan, quote, became her emotional backbone. She said that they met when the pandemic was really strong and she had a lot of emotional ups and downs because of it. She said, Ryan has seen me through some really good times, some really hard times. I would say that he is probably the most compassionate soul that I've ever met and the most patient. She said, I could be a lot to handle. I could be an emotional handful, but he is so patient with her. Because of restrictions thanks to the pandemic, they didn't meet in person until July 2021. But they continued to get closer, and according to the interview with People, Ryan became so in tune with Gypsy's emotions that he could tell how she was feeling as soon as she picked up the phone. Gypsy said, we've been able to build this emotional bond that within 2 seconds of talking on the phone, he knows my emotions. She said, I'm thankful that I have a man that is open enough with his own emotions so I could let my emotions flow. On July 21st, 2022, Gypsy and Ryan got married in a prison ceremony. And today, December 28th, 2023, he was the one to pick her up when she was released. Gypsy also mentioned in the interview with People that she wants kids one day. She said, it's hard because I'm going into a new life and I'm newly married and I'm going to have kids one day and I'm going to have to explain to my kids why their grandmother on mommy's side isn't around. And that's going to be a really hard conversation. But by all accounts, it seems like Gypsy is really happy with Ryan and that he has been there supporting her through a lot. So hopefully he will be continuing to support her as she adjusts to her new life.
We all know how that ended. Didn't she like break up with him? They got divorced and she went back to his ex, so it ain't did too well for her ex, her other ex. Damn.
Scary story about the peephole. A 15-year-old girl named Donna lived with her father in a very small house. Ever since her mother died, Donna had depended on her dad for everything. One morning, Donna's father was leaving for a business trip. He then told her that he won't be back until later that night. And with that, he kissed Donna on the forehead and left. Later that day, when Donna came home from school, she did some homework and watched TV. The clock then struck midnight, and she noticed her father still wasn't back, so she decided to go to bed. That night, Donna had a dream. She found herself standing on the edge of a busy highway. She then looked across the highway and saw a familiar figure standing there. It was her father, and his hands were cupped around his mouth trying to yell something. But Donna couldn't make out what he was saying. She noticed her father's eyes were very sad, and he seemed to be desperately trying to communicate with her. She could barely make out the words he was saying, but it sounded like, don't open the door. Suddenly, Donna woke up to a tapping noise. Then somebody rang the doorbell. Donna then scrambled out of bed, got dressed, and ran down to the front door. Looking through the peephole, she saw her father's face outside. He was staring right at her, and the doorbell was still ringing. "Okay, hold on, I'm coming," she shouted. She pulled back the deadbolt and was about to unlatch the door when she stopped. She then looked through the peephole again, and she noticed there was something off about her father's expression. His eyes were wide open, and he looked terrified. She then slid the deadbolt back into place. "Dad, did you forget your keys?" Donna yelled. The doorbell just kept ringing. "Dad, answer me." Still, the doorbell continued to ring. "Dad, please, I need you to answer me. Is there someone else out there with you?" Still, the doorknob continued to ring. She then yelled at the top of her lungs, "I'm not opening the door until you answer me." The doorbell kept ringing and ringing, but for some reason, her father refused to answer her desperate cries. For the rest of the night, Donna sat in the corner next to the door, crying and helplessly listening to the doorbell ringing over and over again. She then eventually fell asleep. In the morning when she woke up, she noticed it was very quiet. She then got up and went over to the peephole and looked inside. Her father was still there, just staring at her. She then cautiously opened the door and was confronted with a sight that filled her with unimaginable horror. Her father's severed head was hanging from a nail above the door, and there was a note attached to the doorbell. In weird sloppy handwriting, it read, "Clever girl."
She ain't fall for the trick. She had a dream, I guess, before it happened, telling her not to open the door, and she followed her gut. It said clever girl thing, so she was the target all along. Crazy. I wonder if there's more to that story. We're going to have to try to search up and find those clips. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker, man. Seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Like I said, guys, hit that like button, subscribe, follow me on my social medias down below, man. Like I said, we're grinding, man. We're doing these daily uploads. Like I said, maybe next month we're probably gonna switch it up, but thank you guys for sticking with me and joining me on my journey. I have really truly believe we can go to Seekers into something special. I just need you guys' help by supporting these videos. Guys, and catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.